Good morning guys, hope you're all well. Today's vlog brings us back to somewhere we was last week, but this is kind of like a wrong turn because last week we was the other side of the tracks here at Stuartby Brickworks. This is more your warehouse, your sort of storage rooms, etc. Got a totally different vibe to it. One of the warehouses is supposed to be really huge. So we're going to go and explore, so come along and join us. Right, we're actually on site so we can do a little bit of an explore. This place is seriously run down. The view of yesterday and all the old shoes, boots and shovels. I get a feeling this is like some sort of old, you ever get a feeling it's like an old changing room sort of thing? Back in the day, it's like a football changing room. That's the vibes it gives off. It probably isn't, but this might be where they've changed out of civvies before going out. Has had an element of fire here, as have they all in the past, but surrounded by brick dust, piping, old toilet blocks. Got to be a bit careful because there is a bit of asbestos again around, so you try not to kick up too much dust because that will do you some serious harm. Yeah, not too dissimilar from the other side, to be honest with you. But we're calling it the wrong side of the tracks because the other side has got that significant large brick press, which is absolutely incredible. We enjoyed that last week, and looking on the way out we thought, oh, there's another side to it, so we thought we would have a look. And so you find us here again. Of course, this side is the side where security is housed, so I'm expecting to bump into it at some point, but we mean them no harm or the site. We're not these little scroats that come along and set fire to the place or spray it up. It seems really weird that we were the other side of the tracks this time last week. That was an absolutely mental explore. This is kind of got that feel of an add-on, but even so, it's an explore in itself, and it does throw up a few little quirky things. Jesus, that steel, my God, that's got to weigh, oh, I don't know, perhaps a ton. Solid steel cabling. There's rolls of the stuff just sitting around. What was their purpose? Jesus. The sort of thing you might have found on a ship. Now these are obviously pulley systems for smaller ones. Another electrical circuit box, all the fuses stripped out, the wiring probably been obsolete since this place closed. This area here must have been a loading dock just from the split level there, and all these buildings I believe are accessible, so there's maybe 3, 4 to that one, 2 directly in front of us, and a large warehouse behind that. So I said, it's not quite on the scale of last week's explore, but it still is an explore. That someone's old locker, empty of course, and this comes across as being some sort of, perhaps an old boiler room. Rubble everywhere. Oh wow, so that must have been a office area in there. Right, so we're inside this officey type of thing. I'm only surmising that's that. Could have been something totally different, but you've got an armchair, a few tables which will have drawers in them, and obviously some filing cabinets and old cases, etc. Sometimes it's worth just to have a look, see what you can find, if there's any significant date, etc. Probably not. That's just like a newspaper clipping. Is it 2000 on there? Possibly. Got some seriously cool vibes to it. I know the warehouse at the back has got an upper level, although the floor is supposed to be a bit on the sketchy side. We shall make our way through to that. Just started to precipitate, chuck it down. We've made our way through to basically the yard where the warehouse where I think they held all the bricks once they were piled up and palletised in that building now. So we'll make our way in and meet you on the inside. Right, we've just moved this door ajar so we can come in to what I would say was probably stores, keeping your little nuts and bolts, etc. for when things would break down. Obviously you've got numbers there as well, probably for working areas. These posts, were they security posts once? I don't know. A lot of rigging, file cabinets over the back there, more of this steel cabling, a lot more of this steel cabling, hooks, all sorts. Winch, pump trucks. It's got that lovely old garagey smell to it. So if you went in Pollard's back in the day, it was like that. Is that an old oil filter? Big old chain down there as well. That's where I think they would put oil in that just to oil everything up. But wow, I'm surprised I've kept all these cylinders lying around. They are slightly naughty. Get any element of a fire in them and they will purge and make an almighty bang. Look at that. One cylinder just hanging on a load of chains. Quite a unique find to itself. People, why would you set fireworks off in here? That is insane. Some people have not got a brain cell amongst them. That would literally, if you get locked into an area like this and that went off, it would literally kill you. Another office storage space. Loads more drawers. Probably just full of gumph. Sometimes you get them and find a bird's nest in them. Nothing that we're only interested in, we only want dates more than anything else. Dates have the significance to tell you a time frame, although we do know that this closed in 2008. I think they were trying to keep the sulphur levels down and were spending somewhere in the region of £1 million a year, but still not successful, so they had to pull out. And this is what remains. Strip lighting. Special place, that's for sure. And I think the warehouse is even bigger. See that gated door there, well, that would be hazardous goods, I'd imagine. under lock and key. Me nearly falling over. Said you've got to be careful in these places. They turn around and say that size isn't everything, but sometimes it is. That is absolutely huge. Got to watch our step because there is patches of oil everywhere. But wow, can even get up to the top level just to get an overview. There would have been winches and cranes above us. You can see the runners going to full length. That's probably where they would have stacked bricks. And this is insane, guys, it really is. Obviously it's me, Paul, and a bunch of pigeons. That is one serious bit of kit. Maximum loadage 3 tons. Sort of Jaws proportions. It does have its own element, its own level of beauty, to be honest with you. I know it's just a derelict state. Piles and piles of bricks there. Different levels to probably top up oil, I guess. And just look at that. IBC hanging off a small crane. We've got what appears to be the avian version of the dam busters. Every time we move, just flocks of pigeons swoop down and fly to the other side. If you're spooked by them, it's not sort of the place for you guys. It's just the sheer size of this place. A little bit wider and it could be a football pitch. Although I guess at the moment we'd rather not talk about that, being English. Although, let's be honest with you, was it ever really coming home? Some people will say yes, but it only needed a team to score 2 goals against us and we was out. And that could have happened with any one of those teams that we played before. We just wasn't at it. Unfortunate. Might see the end of a few careers, and it's one of the things you just move on, I guess. Paul making his way up that staircase. He's a bit rickety at the top. I've seen from other people's videos and vlogs from here. But I really am loving every minute of this. I did not expect I would though. I thought, okay, we wouldn't even get as far as this. But we've pretty much traipsed around, left to our own devices. When we first got here we was hiding out the way. There was a couple of vans and then soon they moved on and we realised they were Anglian Water. Although what Anglian Water were doing here I do not know. But they disappeared. The guy in the security shack at the front, or whether he's sitting in his car, he's not interested, so we might pop past him and say hello as we leave. But then I suppose I do want to take a few pictures of how we got in, so it does help future guys who will explore this safely and with the same purpose of what we've done, to put out content that their followers, subscribers, etc. will enjoy, because we don't all have the same people that watch the same stuff. Solid old vice clamp at the edge of the desk there. Sort of thing my dad would have been in his element with, the way he used to do his medieval armour all them years back. Whittling away at a bit of metal or wood to create something special. Even had an old built-in wooden drawer. It must have some sort of manual winch, to be honest with you. That's a lot of effort to put that IBC up there. And that would take 2 tons. Okay, we're at the level now of don't try this at home, people. Well, that is a sturdy old solid bit of iron. But I will take every precaution. I do know from other people's videos that this bit at the top here is a little bit sketchy, where someone has had a bit of a burnout, should we say. But this side isn't all that bad. Well, no, I will not be treading any further that side. The old electric's burnt out. Paul said to me to come and have a look at where this ladder is over here and look straight down. Heights, to be honest with you, are not my strong point, but I don't think it's going to be that far. Obviously this ladder would have gone all the way down before. Wow. Yeah, bit of a drop. Certainly kill ya. Old fuse box again. An overall lookout view from this mezzanine level. It shows you the depth of scale. Features a pool waving down there. But it's been a cool explore, and we're not quite done yet. There's a couple of buildings over to our left that we might be able to get close to. So I'll make my way back down this staircase and we shall have a look. But yeah, you don't want to mess with stuff like that. You can see it's actually starting to drop. Certainly going to turn around and say this is as an element of fire damage. Very, very scorched ceilings. Just enough light without using the torch, which I've not done so far today. Very, very charred. To be honest with you, it doesn't really lead to anything, so we'll make our way around the back of this building. That is of course where we've just been. Making our way out now so I can show you where we got in, because it is always handy to be helpful to others who have not come here with hell bent on destruction but want to do the same as us. Have a little bit of a fun time out taking some photographs, little bit of videoing perhaps. But all these here, when I've shown you bricks before and I've got a number in the corner, each one of them is specific to each kiln. So anywhere abouts, if you look in the street and you see a London brick and it has a number on it, say for instance it's 33, it was cooked in that kiln there. I said, explore wise, totally different to the other side of the tracks. It's why it sort of comes across as a wrong turn. You could go this side or you can go that side. That was special last week. The place was enormous. But this has held its own. It was, I always wanted to get a couple on the back catalogue which were industrial, and you can't get much more industrial than an old brickworks. So we'll make our way out. I'll just show you the one at the end here. Most of these are blocked up halfway through, but the two end ports, you can literally walk all the way through them. I'm not going to, I'll go into the middle of it and show you there's a bit you can climb through to get out the other side. But just to show you what the kilns are like. And each one of these would have had a chimney on top of it, which you would have seen in the distance. and I think they all come down, the last of them in 2021 I believe. Used to have big crowds of people that come over and see them, but just look at the sheer size of that. The brick press area where we was, and we stood out overlooking the back end area there last week, looked over in the distance, because as I said, we're literally 800 meters away from where the start of the land of Universal Studios Bedford is proposed to be. Still waiting for a final decision, which could come anytime soon. As I said, we'll have a quick look in kiln number 48. All the other ones, as I said, they're bricked off halfway down, so you can't see a lot. But this one, if you so choose to, you can make your way through. I'm just going to walk to the middle. The heat would have been generated, pumped through, and just stacks and stacks of bricks would have been cooked in here. But you've got to be careful, because it's a bit like Jenga blocks. Any of these could just fall out and collapse on top of you at any time. So you don't want to mess around with them. One shift and the whole lot comes down. I'm actually quite surprised I haven't knocked it down, to be honest with you. And as I said, if you so wanted to choose to do so, you could go out the other end down there. But this follows the route which we want to get out, so we'll continue back on ourselves. The walls have certainly seen better days, but I suppose the sheer force of the collapse of a chimney that would have been above this would have created all of that. As a little tip for you guys, as I'm still without a car at the moment, this is accessible by public transport. We live in Bletchley, and currently until at least mid-August I believe, you can get a £2 return train from there, from Bletchley, which comes all the way through to Bedford, and I think there's about 5-6 stops along, which is here, Stuartby. You get off at the platform, which is maybe 300-400 meters away, and just walk round the back and you're in here. This is kind of what freaked us out as we come in. We thought there was security waiting at points everywhere, but it's not. That's actually Anglian water. I don't know what they're doing on site, but it's the same guys were there as we come in, and they've come back to finish off what they're doing. So I don't know what it is, but we mean them no harm, and I'm sure the same comes back in our direction, and we're on our way out anyway. But just look how overgrown it is. Obviously winter time, you won't have all this shrubbery, but it offers you that little bit of protection if, like us, you're coming in covertly. Security not had a clue that we've been here all day. Anyway guys, that's going to do it for today. We've had a tremendous time. It's always cool going to these places, coming in as we generally do, covertly. No one's known that we've been on site, and it's meant we can go about our own business. Whoever works here as security can do their own thing. We've caused them no problem, they've caused us no problem. We've seen some things that have been pretty outstanding. IBC strung up with all the 2-ton lifting crane, and the 3-ton one behind that, and that huge warehouse. Some of the other bits, some of the old boots that have been left behind in the past, the loading bay, some of these old cubby rooms and storage. It's been a different explore from last week for sure. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know Paul has. Hope you guys have too. I'm going to finish this now and just briefly show you, if you hang on when I've done the outro, our way in, so you can sort of make your own mind of whether this is for you or not. And I'll see you in the movies. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye for now. So I'm kind of working in reverse. So these were the kilns that we've made our way along the back of. Security is right down the far end. of this drag down here, you might just see a little white top of a blue porta potty, and that little shack there, that's his security hut. Hasn't flinched. For all we know, we could have been on camera the whole way round, but as I said, making our way back in reverse, we followed this fence line. Initially we thought there was like a fuse box on the outside, which I've seen photographs of on the bank. As we approached that, there's this great big dyke, and I thought, oh bugger, we ain't getting through that in a million years. So I thought we'd have bought it and that would be it. So then I thought, no, you know what, we're not one for giving up. So we went round the side of a sign here of the new business park that's on the premises, and there's like a little trail that runs around the side of a generator, and there's a single track with a bit of a slightly mucky bank, but nothing compared to what we had last week. We traversed our way across that, and hey presto, we got in. Yeah, this area is a bit overgrown, but it's solid underfoot. You've got a lot of brick and shingle and shell from probably the old train tracks that would have been around the area. So it's not much of an issue. We'll just come up to this bend here at the corner. You can see other people have walked the trail before, either side. We're coming up to this corner point here, this pile of bricks, and that was our way in. Originally, I suppose you probably could have done in the past, come along that bank where you've got this barbed wire fence. That's why we thought, oh no, it's game over, but it's not. It's this bit here, not much left of it, easy to step over, and then you follow this singular brick path. Not too much of a step. I will put the camera away because I call it quits now. Get down that along the side there. Said it's kind of stepped, so it's not going to cause you that much problem to get up it. If I can do it, you certainly can. Right, so we're down here across this little ravine, nothing too major, around the side of this sprayed up generator, and you're basically at the back wall of what is the facade of the business park. I'll show you as we go around. Easy in, easy out, no problem. Hope that gives anyone who wants to come the heads up. Here we go, round the back of that. Again, thanks for watching guys. Catch you next time. See you in the movies. Bye for now.